Are you ready for another meditation challenge?
So it looks like we're all here. Welcome, my friends. Welcome back to day 5 of the 30 days of love. And we're creating that love in that heart chakra. So today, I'd like to dive a little deeper. Now, for anyone that's a newcomer to the series, anyone that's a newcomer to these videos, what I recommend is going back and checking out days 1, 2, 3, where I give a much deeper and longer explanation of, the heart chakra, the technique. As we progress in these 30 days of love, what I'd like to do is take you on a deeper journey to pinpoint some more sticking points, perhaps, that you might have. So drop a question below or give a comment below right now and let me know where you're stuck. Let me know what challenges you. Let me know within this technique of single pointed mind on the heart chakra where you're finding some challenges. And what I'd like to do is eventually, in a couple days perhaps, maybe towards the end of this week, is extend the meditation a little bit. Right now we're doing a 20-minute meditation with the first 5 minutes basically as a warm-up, kind of coordinating our breath with the heart chakra. And then the final 15 minutes, we're taking the time to just feel our heart chakra single-pointed mind technique. So what I'd like to do is extend that by about 5 minutes, probably starting towards the end of the week. Because I think it's important to start with a smaller time period in your meditation to gain that ground, to gain that proficiency in that shorter period of time, so that by the time we are lengthening the meditation, it's not counterproductive. Oftentimes, if you're new to meditation, or perhaps you're just new to this particular technique, if the meditation session is too long, it's kind of counterproductive. You end up just kind of getting spaced out. You end up kind of just going back to those habits of mind. And perhaps you've noticed that. Once we get into the heart chakra, single-pointed mind, stillness technique towards the end of the meditation, what you probably have found is that your attention wanders, or it's like almost stuck in a particular mold. I think that's a good word for it. It's a particular form that we are habituated to, that we're used to. And as I've said many times, many of us are constantly using our eyes. We're looking at our phones all day. We're looking at the computer screen all day. And so guess what? Your attention has been trained to be up in your eyes. So when you meditate, when you sit down to meditate and you actually close your eyes and you're attempting to focus on your breath, or you're attempting to focus on a chakra or a mantra or what have you, you'll notice that you're still looking through your eyes. You'll catch yourself in these moments. And this is an important moment because these are the habits. These are the die-hard habits that are hard to break. And to become free perceptually, to become better or more advanced perceivers on higher dimensions, to break out of that mold that's kind of holding us in place. These are the attachments that we're suffering. Now we may not be suffering them so intensely that they are affecting our lives in a manner that you would think the word suffering means, but in comparison to who and what we could be, we're in a state of suffering when our attention is attached. When our attention is attached to any pattern, to any mold, to any form. And your attention is energy. I don't want I'd like to clarify again what attention is. Attention is just another form of awareness. If at our heart, at our core, at our center of our being, there's this effortless awareness, meaning it's spontaneous, meaning we don't have to do anything. There's always this awareness. Call it higher consciousness, call it what you will, call it Bob. It doesn't care. There's been many names given to it. And of course names, what's in a name, right? Any other name, the rose smells as sweet. And it's true. It's not about the names. And it's not about the labels. Which is why I don't always stick to traditional labeling and terminology, because while that may be helpful at a certain point to study traditional sciences, the yogic sciences, and in particular one book that I recommend that everyone read if they're a serious meditation practitioner is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, excuse me, Patanjali, P-A-T-A-N, Patanjali, J-A-L-I. Check that out. There's a free PDF available online, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Patanjali was a great yogi. He was a great sage, an enlightened being. It's kind of mysterious as to who he was, and we're not really too sure. But it doesn't matter because the work is true. The work, the text, is brilliant. And it will give you the stages of preparation for meditation. And then in the practice of meditation, the three main stages, which I like to talk about, which are concentration, meditation, and absorption. So that's the book I recommend for everyone to check out, because I really think it's a good overview of meditation and serious meditation practice. So when I talk about attention is really just a modified form of awareness. It is awareness, but it's our willfully directed awareness, meaning we can direct it with our will to any sense. And I've talked about this before, but like when you say, give me your attention, what are you giving? You're giving your eyes, your ears, you're placing your awareness or attention in a particular sense organ. So similarly, when we're meditating on the heart chakra, what we're doing is we're taking that same attention, that willfully directed attention, which is normally scattered amongst these habitual patterns that we love so well, and that mental chatter, and also these perceptual forms and molds, like looking through our eyes, like imagining that we are in a body. The body, the physical body, is just a form that we can become attached to, that our awareness can become attached to. Meaning, our attention, our awareness, what we seek to do with our attention is to free it up so that it can be free to be you and me. Now, that was really corny, but what it can be is anything. It can go anywhere. But the problem is that these attachments have locked it in place. Does that make sense? And I think we all experience this to a certain degree, but we don't notice it necessarily until we sit down and try to become still. And then we notice all these tendencies, all these habits, and all these patterns surface. These molds, these forms. These are crystallizations, meaning they are habits of attention that have crystallized. And just like our body has a certain form because we have DNA that is constantly replicating that form. DNA is a form of memory, and karma is your energetic memory. These karmic tendencies, also known as samskaras, tendencies of the mind. There are actually many different layers of these tendencies of the mind that we actually bring with us. These mental patterns, these ways of perceiving. Because when we're born into this life, we take with us who and what we were in past lives. And who and what we were in past lives are the karmas and the tendencies, right? It doesn't necessarily matter who we were in terms of the identity or the name, or where we were in terms of the place or the dimension that we were before this life. What we bring into this life in a seed form are the samskaras, the tendencies of mind. And this is really what astrology is about. This is why I'm into astrology, because it helps us understand these tendencies that are very subtle and perhaps that perhaps we're unaware of until we're made aware of it. So it's important to know your tendencies, and of course meditation is the best way to get to know them. So let's get to know ourselves, shall we? So initially what we're doing is we're bringing our attention to the heart chakra and we're feeling. In this way, what we're developing is a sense of the ability to feel energy, which is a very subtle ability. It's a higher sense. This ability to feel energy is also related to our intuition. It's also related to our psychic abilities. These are non-physical senses. And when we develop that non-physical part of ourselves, it enriches our lives. It broadens our horizons. It enhances our perceptions to the point where, I don't know, life is more fun. Life is more enjoyable. It's more complete. We have a broader range of perception. Life is not in the box. It's not bound by the physical senses. For most of us, because our attention is trained to be attached to the physical senses, this is our experience in life. Our experience is very limited by experience that we intake through the senses, whether we're looking at something, listening, tasting, you get the idea, or indulging in some sort of sensorial pleasures. But we know the problem with that, don't we? I love pleasure, but the problem with pleasure is that it doesn't last. It fades quickly, and in fact it leaves us in a lower state afterward. You ever notice we love ice cream, we love pie, whatever you love, that type of food, let's say, that you like to indulge in. And when we have that food, we feel good for a moment. And then it kind of wears off pretty quickly, doesn't it? And so what do? Well, we go for that extra piece. Oh yeah, that second piece is going to do it, right? But then that second piece, it doesn't quite do it, and we don't quite feel as good, and then we end up feeling lousy. So this is pretty much the trip through the senses, the trip through sensorial indulgence. And this is why it's important to be aware that meditation practice is a way out. It's a way out of the trap of the sensorial illusion. So I think it's important to have a balance and enjoy the pleasures of life, but also have like one foot in the spiritual realm and one foot in the physical realm, and that way we stay balanced, and that's really the key. So getting to today's meditation, if you tried this technique before, what I really want you to do today, and what it really requires in order to overcome these habits, is a tremendous effort in the beginning. And I'll use this analogy to help you out. Imagine a rocket ship. A rocket, Imagine you're Elon Musk and you're about to launch your next SpaceX rocket. Oh, we all love Elon Musk, right? So it takes a tremendous amount of effort and energy for that rocket to get out of Earth's gravitational pull. And it uses a tremendous amount of fuel to blast straight up, yeah? But once it's up in orbit, it can turn off the rockets, and just the momentum now will carry it into orbit. Very similar with your meditation. The more effort you put out in the beginning, the less effort required once you're up there, if you will. Once you've broken out of the mundane, once you've escaped the gravity of the body. Okay? So I want you to think about that analogy. Now, how do we do that? How do we put forth a tremendous amount of energy? Well, it's by holding your attention, feeling that spot. When you get that inkling of feeling, that little tingle, that sensation, it might be ever so subtle, ever so small. Grab onto it. Hold on to it. Probe its depths. This is the next step. This is the next level. This is what will propel you into the next dimension. Because in order to break out of these habits, we need some serious effort. In order to change, we need to change our mind. Okay? So let's get to it, my friends. And it's going to be a good one today. We're going to try really, really hard. Now, at a certain point, that effort will enable the heart chakra to open. And once that happens, we can sort of back off. Now, when I say effort, I don't necessarily mean you have to really be tensing and trying really hard. It's really just commitment is what we're discussing here. Commitment. Commit. Now, in order to commit to being right here and being nowhere else, meaning our attention, it takes a certain renunciation to renounce, to forget about the world for a little while, to forget about ourselves, to have no expectations perhaps, and to just be present as awareness, as attention here and feeling, and just fall in love with that feeling, fall in love with the process, have fun with it, enjoy it, make it a game. When your mind wanders, bring it back. An interesting concept is that most of us think in 3D, and we'll get right to the meditation after this. Most of us think in 3D, and that when our attention wanders, oh, we have to gently bring it back to the heart chakra. Yeah? No. If you're like me, you can whip it back. If you're like me, you can just blink it back. Because in other dimensions, which our attention is multidimensional, there's no need to travel through space and time. Meaning, I don't have to, drag my attention back in a A to B fashion. Does that make sense? From a thought to heart chakra fashion, meaning it's not like here to here. You can just blink it into existence. It's here. And then you teleport it to here, if you will. Teleportation is the idea that you can just blink from one spot into another, and all of a sudden you appear there. Well, these are the powers that we have. And the more that we begin to exercise them, the more that our aura, the more that our subtle physical body comes online. It's the subtle physical body that we're working on here. The heart chakra is the central chakra. It's the center, it's the core. Okay? So just a little tidbit there, a little trick. Let's get to work. Before we get started, we're going to do a few breaths, energizing breaths to get the energy going. Okay, so this is the wave breathing, breathing into the belly, chest, and head in a wave-like manner, in the nose and out the mouth. Big, deep breaths. Everyone go ahead and take a seat. You can stand up if you want to do this, standing up, that's fine. Back straight, good posture. Take a big deep breath, follow along. We're going to do 10 of these. Here we go. First, exhale all the breath. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Belly, chest, head. Here we go. That's 2. Let it all go. 3. 4. 1 fail swoop. 5. Stretch those lungs. 6. Already getting warm. 7. Swallow. 8. 9. 10. We're oxygenated, we're online, we're activated. Now begin your meditative breath by breathing in the nose and breathing out the nose, diaphragmatic breathing into the belly. Settle down. Focus on the process of breathing. Clear any nasal passages that need clearing. And we'll begin. And as we continue the meditative breath for the first 5 minutes, I want you to breathe in and out of your heart chakra center. Imagine the air coming in and breathing out. Imagine as if the heart chakra was your nose. And in fact, the heart chakra and the nose are related. The sense of smell and the sense of feeling are related. Continue to breathe, focusing on the air or energy coming in to the heart center and moving out. As you breathe, relax the tension in your face and your body. Begin to balance your posture between two butt bones, centering, aligning. Settling in. We're using this breath to calm down, to settle down. As you continue to relax any tension in the body, rest upon the bone structure, rest upon your skeletal structure. Maintain only enough tension to maintain a good posture. As you breathe into the heart chakra, feel as well as see the air coming in to the center line of your being. This will help to center you. Allow your breathing to become more and more subtle, more and more calm, more and more quiet. Now place the fingertips gently in the center of the chest, bringing our attention now to the center of the chest to feel. In the beginning, just feel the fingers touching the center of the chest. Lock into that area. Allow your breath to run on its own. Forget about your body, forget about your breath. Forget about yourself. Forget about the world. Right now, the only thing that's important is feeling the energy at the heart chakra. Once you've locked into that area, go ahead and remove the hand. Rest the hand gently, either on the lap or on the thighs. Tune in to the energy around the heart chakra. The secret is to become still. Become still and surrender. Let go. Let go and unclench your attachments to the body. Let go of any attachments to the thoughts. Let go of any attachments to any form or perceptual mold. Bring your full attention to the feeling at the heart center and hold it there. If your attention wanders, just bring it right back. Well, I don't know about you, but I definitely feel like I could go for another 10 or 15 more minutes on that one. And sometimes it takes 15 or 20 minutes just to settle down and start to feel. Well, good job out there. I'd love to hear some of your experiences, some of your challenges, anything, any questions that have come up. One thing to note is that it's not necessarily a bad thing if you didn't feel anything. The important thing is that you're trying. Every time that you try to bring your mind or try to bring your attention back to your heart chakra, it's like you're developing invisible arms. It's like you're developing this invisible part of ourself, which is like your willpower, that is like developing a muscle. It becomes stronger. This ability to concentrate will become stronger. And if you're not familiar with feeling energy, it can be a very difficult concept at first. But it's like anything. I always use the analogy of going to the gym or muscle building or exercise, because a lot of people can relate to that. It's no different than the first time you did anything. At first, it may be challenging, but after a few times you start to get the hang of it. And then you have your good days and your bad days. It happens. It's okay. Maybe you had a great day today. Maybe it was challenging for you. But the important thing is that you try hard each time, because today might not have been the best day, but the fact that you tried hard, you're developing that muscle, that willpower, the ability to hold your attention here. Preparing yourself for tomorrow, preparing yourself for the next time, or preparing yourself for the day. Now that you've done that exercise, your mindfulness practice will just take care of itself throughout the day. If you meditate in the morning and you do a good job, you should do an effortless mindfulness practice throughout the day, because mindfulness is really just a maintaining of that higher consciousness that you've prepared yourself for, that you've positioned yourself into during your meditation, right? Now, of course, throughout the day, there are little tricks and tips you can do to kind of bring that awareness to the forefront again. But I think as we progress and as we get better in our meditation, we change. We become meditative always, or at least most of the time, right? One final little note is that even though I say try hard and commit your attention to your heart chakra area and feel that spot and bring it back when it wanders, I also want to make sure that I emphasize to simultaneously let go of any physical tension, let go of any facial tension. We don't want to try so hard that we begin to contract our muscles, so that we begin to contract our facial muscles or our nervous system. It's almost like you want to be able to completely let go and yet still maintain your attention here. And it becomes almost Tai Chi-like, and it's a very graceful movement. It's a very graceful feeling of being able to place and hold. And even now that I'm relaxed more after the meditation, I'm almost now feeling the heart chakra open up even more than I did during the session today. And this is quite common. This is why I always say, don't judge your meditation during your meditation. If you're not having the best meditation and it's difficult to focus, just keep trying. It's like working out. The more you keep doing it during the session, the stronger you're becoming, the more you're building that muscle, even if it feels so challenging. Oh, I can't do this, I want to give up. That's when we have to break through, because of these, you're breaking through these habits, these lazy tendencies that we all have. So keep focus, keep trying, keep practicing, my friends. Keep the faith, keep the love. and you'll get better. You'll get better. Okay, so join me here again tomorrow for another training session with your meditation personal trainer. Okay, guys, have a great day out there. I love you all, and thank you so much for joining me on this 30 days of love. Take care.